Shalom, first and foremost, we give our praises and glory to Yahweh, B'Shem Yahshua, B'Shem Kakadash. Advance to the apostles of Jim Master Ruel. Shalom to the faithful men as always continue doing the work of the Lord. Now, Lord willing, I just want to make a land back video on a brother in Iowa. I just got done watching. He, it's called GMS Feed the Flock. Got me hyped. Chat got me hyped. We gonna shine when society collapse. Alright. And so what was he looked it up, how is the men of the Lord is going to shine and in the end times, and he put Isaiah 13 and 14 where it says, or 12, so like a man shall shine, you know what I'm saying, as the gold of Ophir, you know, it'd be more precious, so like it. Alright, and then the chat broke it down, you know what I mean? It said everything that we say, you know what I'm saying? Then it also went into the women and all that, how they gonna be just pretty much Isaiah 4 and 1, you know, things like that, man. It's just beautiful, bro. It's beautiful because what it say? One thing it did say, cause I did my own little chat thing. I'm gonna read it a couple, but one thing the chat did say is that because it's gonna be so dark, you know, it's gonna be a day of darkness, that, you know, light is gonna shine. You know, what is that light? You know, that we have in us is Ecclesiastes 8:1. Who is he, or who is as the wise man, and who knoweth the interpretation of a thing? A man's wisdom maketh his face to shine, and the boldness of his face shall be changed. Right? So wisdom maketh a man's face to shine, and it make his boldness of his face shall be changed. You know what I mean? Why? Because we was that Wisdom of Solomon 12. It says when these things come to pass, it's gonna make the elect's boldness to shine. You know, when all these prophecies finally start really happening, we're gonna get even more bolder, and we're gonna shine even more brighter. Was that Proverbs 4? The light of the perfect is gonna shine more and more into the perfect day. All right. Matter of fact, let me see. This is Ecclesiastes 9 and 13. This wisdom have I seen under the sun, and it seemed great unto me. There was a little city and a few men within it, and there came a great king against it, and besieged it, and brought great bullocks against it. Now there was found in it a poor wise man, and he by his wisdom delivered the city. Yet no man remembered that same poor man. All right. Then said I, wisdom is better than strength. Nevertheless, the poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are not heard. Right. And this time it's gonna be different. You know. Now of course it's still gonna be scoffers, and when the shit is the fan, you know, niggas is still trying to kill us and all that. Them niggas ain't never gonna, every nigga ain't gonna, you know, start believing. Alright? But a lot of people are gonna start believing, you know, and they gonna start going to that poor righteous man, that poor wise man. But right now he's despised because everything is cool. You can go to the store, you can, you know, you got your little safety. You can believe what you want to believe. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. You know, even though Jake is going through their shit, they struggling, shit coming more expensive, but yeah, they still are cool right now. But when that shit gets real, what they gonna do? They gonna seek out that poor, righteous, wise man. Alright? And this time his wisdom ain't gonna be despised. They gonna desperately need and want it. Alright? Now, again, like he said earlier, the chat, it says, you know, the men of the Lord gonna shine so much in that day because it's gonna be so dark. You know what I'm saying? So willing, the brothers, they're gonna have no choice but to shine. You know what I'm saying? We won't have to do nothing extra. You know, like the chat was saying, we won't have to do nothing extra or nothing. They're just gonna come to us. They're gonna be, it was the Amos, they're gonna go to the north, to the south, searching, bro. Us, we ain't gonna be, we don't gotta do shit. Matter of fact, it's gonna be illegal to teach, so we ain't gonna be on the streets no more. You know what I'm saying? This is Ecclesiastes 2:13. It says, "Then I saw that wisdom excelleth folly, as far as light excelleth darkness." Right, so that's why we're going to be shining in that time. When all hell breaks loose, we're going to be shining, because light far exceeds darkness. You know what I'm saying? And darkness is coming to an end. Alright, the Lord's going to get rid of wickedness. And it's going to be because right now wickedness is reigning, is having its fun. You know, a lot of people just do whatever the hell they want, commit adultery, whatever, and not really get punished for it. I mean, it's still judgment's going out. But when the shit really hits the fan, it's going to be judgment every single day. It's going to be hundreds of thousands, millions of people dying every day. It's not going to be no, or you hear in the news somebody got shot and killed. Like, nah, bro, you're going to see all these, the Lord going to answer all these motherfuckers, man. You know what I'm saying? To the point where it's going to get to the point where it's like, God damn. You know what I mean? Like, it's got to be God fucking with you. You know what I mean? Now, let me go to the chat. I looked up a few, and of course, that's why I kept it on there, because it's fucking, I knew it was going to do that. Sometimes, that's why you got to sign into it, because if it don't, then it's going to fucking, sometimes it's going to fucking take away all the shit. See, I don't even know if this is man. I hate this fucking chat. Salakia. Okay, fine. Alright. So I typed in, how will a man of God shine in the end times? Isaiah 3. Alright. It says, the day of Yahweh is a time of divine judgment, upheaval, and the humbling of human pride. When read through that lens, it reveals how a true man of God will shine in the end times, not by worldly success, but by faithful alignment with God's holiness and truth. Alright, by standing in the fear of Yahweh. That's good. That's number one. See, that's very good. Very, very well. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the first step in being accepted in the Lord's love, was that Sirach. And also in Proverbs 1, it says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. It says 13:6, well, for the day of Yahweh is at hand. Alright, in the end times, many will mock God or live carelessly. A man of God shines because he takes God seriously when all others do not, and we're doing that now. A lot of these people ain't gonna take God serious until shit gets really, really real. Until there is no food, there is no security, there is no shelter. That's when they're gonna take God serious. But we're doing it now. Alright, lives with reverence, not fear of man. Warns others with humility, not arrogance. See, that's important too. Because why? Because the Lord teach us to teach. Because there's some people out there that actually believe in the Lord and fear the Lord, but they ain't doing their job. They don't fear Him enough because they ain't doing the work. The Lord fuck your ass up for that too. You know what I'm saying? It says His light is moral clarity in a darkened world. Because wisdom and knowledge and stability shall be the stability of that time. Why? Because it says wisdom and knowledge, that's your morals, right? It says By rejecting pride and worldly glory, I will punish the world for evil as evil, and I will put it into arrogancy and of pride. Alright? And a culture obsessed with self-humility became radiant. It says, by remaining steadfast when everything shakes, therefore I will shake the heavens. Therefore I will make the heavens tremble, and the earth will be shaken. End times are marked by instability, social, moral, spiritual. The man of God shines because his faith is anchored in the Most High, not circumstances. He remains calm. Yeah, and that's how these people are, bro. You got people out here that actually believe in God, but it's based off of circumstances. They can go and hoop and holler all they want in church because you can do that. But what about when it's illegal to praise the Most High in His name? How about that? What you gonna do then? You know, he remains calm when others panic. He becomes a refuge for others. Right. Isaiah 32, he's gonna be a refuge and a cover for the wind. You know, so on and so forth. Alright. And we gotta think about this, man. This ain't just talking about women neither. Now, of course, Isaiah 4:1, we're gonna have multiple women. Of course, they're gonna flock to us. Best believe that. I'm gonna touch on that. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Cause let's be real, man. We fucking men, bro. That's what we want. You know what I'm saying? And that's not just what we want. That's what's gonna be necessary when that time comes. All right. But that ain't just talking. Or that Isaiah 4:1 is talking about. Well, I'm talking about Isaiah 32 and just us protecting people, period. It's not gonna be just women. Alright? Think of times of Moses. You know, Lil Will and some of us are gonna be in the wilderness. It's gonna be a flock of us, bro. Because like I always say, you look at all the histories of the scriptures, Moses, King David, Abraham, the Maccabees, the apostles in the book of Acts. Every time they got persecuted, what did they do? Well, first of all, what? They got persecuted. Which of the prophets have not been persecuted? Okay? But when they did get persecuted, what did they do? Where did they go? A lot of them went to where? The wilderness. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, most likely, that will be the smartest option. You know, if you can, get the fuck out and go to the wilderness. You know? But wherever the fuck we're going to be at, Lord willing, that we're going to be together, and Lord willing, we're going to be protecting each other, man. You know, we ain't gonna be dependent on the government no more. We're gonna be dependent on the Lord. The Lord gonna feed us. You know, we're gonna help each other. Every brother and sister gonna have a job. Hey, you know, somebody gonna clean clothes. Somebody gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna have spiritual powers. We're gonna need to protect each other. Men, women, and children that are believers, not just your 7 women. All right. So think about it, bro. Think about the flock that's gonna be with us, man. And then we're gonna be teaching certain of the flock. Cause we ain't gonna be on the streets no more, but we still gonna be teaching we're gonna be preaching to the choir. You think the teaching ain't gonna stop? The teaching ain't never gonna stop until we on those chariots. Alright? Then we gonna have to teach another Israelite man or woman again. Alright, it says, unshaken faith is a powerful testimony, right? It's a powerful testimony. And people's gonna look at us like, man, damn, bro, this man is unshaken. It's chaos. It's complete fucking chaos outside, and this man is surviving. I just seen him do a spiritual power, and then on top of that, he did say all this shit was gonna happen. Damn, God must be with this man. All right. And this is, hey man, I remember, man, in my Christian, because before I was in this truth, I was in plantation Christianity. Like, I was serious, but not, because, you know, a lot of us was plantation Christianity, but I was serious about it. You know what I'm saying? I was actually teaching people and in my school, walking up to people on the street. Like, I was dead serious about it, bro. Not just a nigga going to church. I was a nigga going to church, but, you know, I was actually applying and actually trying. Alright. Now, I remember in school, in recess, we used to always did some type of activity. Like the fellas, we always either play football. Eventually, we went to boxing. You know what I'm saying? All that shit, right? So we was doing football one day, and then the dude, he chose one of my dudes. He said, "I'm gonna choose you, man, because hey, man, God's on your side." You know, that's on a fucking low level. That's just off of fucking a game that's and that's a game that's not even official. You know what I'm saying? So imagine when the shit really gets real, people gonna be like, "I'm gonna choose you because hey, God's with you." You know what I'm saying? And I need all the favor I want to win. I'm gonna need all the favor I can get. Alright? What's that scripture? Habakkuk 3 says, "In wrath, remember mercy," because it's gonna be so much wrath. That's all it's gonna look. Even to us, it's gonna be like, damn. Hopefully I don't get destroyed. You know what I'm saying? So people is going to panic. People are going to panic. And I'm trying to think of another word, but that's a good word right there though. They're just gonna panic. They don't know what the fuck to do. And they're gonna see you like, oh shit, this man cool, calm and collected. You know what I'm saying? Some gonna have to see miracles, some don't have to. That's not even necessary. I already know the Lord dealing with you. You know? It says, by proclaiming truth even when it's unpopular. By being refined, not consumed, everyone who is found will be thrust through. Judgment consumes the rebellious, but refines the righteous. A man of God shines because trials purify him rather than destroy him. His character becomes more Mashiach-like under pressures. He almost got me. He endures to the end. Refined faith shines brighter than comfort. Woo. By pointing to God's ultimate kingdom. Alright. Alright, perfect. And of course, I hate this fucking thing. I have my shit lined up and everything. Now, matter of fact, let me see something real quick. Let me see something real quick. Damn, bitch. Here, let me see. I'm just curious real quick. I want to ask a specific question, but it, let me see. Physical safety is not guaranteed. That's a spirit, because we know that. We know we might die. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I think I got how I wanted to phrase it. Slovakia and tabs. Alright. It will be hated and persecuted by many. Hell yeah. Some will respect and follow him. Just implication says those seeking truth, justice, or God's kingdom will recognize him as light in the darkness. His teaching, example, and courage will inspire others to turn to the Most High. Even in persecution, God will raise up followers who are in line with his message. Some will be confused or deceived. Let me see. I'm gonna do one more. Oh, okay. Con. Matter of fact, okay, one more. Let me see. I just, Alright. Alright, whatever. Alright, that's enough. I got what I need to get out of there. Now, okay, so now I put the same question out of men of God shine in the end times. I put Isaiah 13:12. I'll make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than a golden wedge of Ophir. Okay, says very important. Context first. It's a judgment oracle, primarily against the Babylon, using, day of Yahweh language. It describes devastation, collapse of pride, removal of false security. In that setting, human life becomes rare because of judgment. So the verse is not praising powerful men. It is saying that true, faithful humility becomes scarce and therefore precious. How a man of God will shine in end times from this verse says by being rare, not popular. Okay, it says integrity be uncommon. Yeah, because people, what the scripture says, the love of many shall wax cold. Right now, these niggas and these fucking peons, punk ass niggas, they don't have no honor, they have no dignity, they have nothing. These niggas are pieces of shit, man. You know what I'm saying? So how much more when there's no food? Because your real stuff comes out when you have no food, you get irritated. So people get desperate. Why do you think a lot of niggas are shooting each other and poor and shit? Because they grew up, they are in poor environments. That's just with any fucking people. You grew up in a poor ass fucking environment, you going to get violent. You know what I'm saying? Unless you got some type of guidance. So the whole world's gonna fucking become a third world country. So these people are gonna get violent. Alright? And their morals gonna go out the window. They're gonna start eating people. They're gonna start murdering people. They're gonna start raping people. Which Isaiah 13 goes into that again as well. You know what I'm saying? People gonna start doing a lot of shit that that you wouldn't expect them to do. Even people that are so-called sweethearted, that never would hurt a fly, and then that some people, even with war, like some people, they'll never hurt nobody, bro. And they go through war, and then it fucking changes them. Now they a fucking killing machine, man. Now they just shooting people dead, no mercy. You know what I'm saying? That shit gonna change you, bro. And that's what. But to the men of the Lord, we gonna keep our integrity. We gonna keep our composure. Where everybody else fucking loses it. And at the end of the day, it's just gonna show you all these people out in the world, they don't know shit and they a bunch of bitches, man. And the men of the Lord, we the true men. We knew this whole time that we've been right through the Spirit of Yahweh Shemi Ashai. Alright, we the only ones that's gonna stand the test. It said truth will be costly. Because why? Because you ain't gonna be able to find it like that. Faith, and it's gonna be illegal. So yeah, good luck. If you don't already have it, faithfulness will not be fashionable. A man of God shines simply by remaining faithful when many fall away. Daniel 12:3. Not loud brilliance, but quiet, costly obedience. Right? Yeah. We don't gotta be these little punk ass Israelite camps that's just showing off and look at my fit. Yeah, look at showing off the the diamond fucking fringes, and we don't gotta do all that extra shit, man. Because when the shit gets real, people ain't gonna flock to your camp because of that. Because first of all, the average person can't even afford that shit. So when the society and the dollar collapse, niggas really can't afford that shit. So the only thing they're gonna be looking for is the word. They ain't gonna give a fuck about no fucking punk ass diamonds. No gauntlets. Who gives a fuck, man? Gold gonna be, expensive. That's gonna be real currency, but they ain't gonna give a fuck, bro. Alright. It says, by reflecting God's character, not worldly power, gold symbolized value, but God says a righteous man must be more precious than gold. A man of God shines through justice instead of exploitation, humility instead of pride, mercy instead of cruelty, holiness instead of composure. This echoes Micah 6:8, James 1:27. By standing firm when system collapse, Isaiah 13 describes nations shaking, heaven trembling, human arrogance humbled. In such times, the man of God shines by not panicking when others do, not worshiping collapsed societies. Oh God, right? Because that's why our mind is not on America, because we already know the casket is already closed on this place, man. But you got niggas still trying to open that bitch back up and trying to, you know what I mean? Your family member dies and they close the casket. You don't believe it. That's how these niggas, they want to, oh my baby, they want to keep this place going. But no, it's wraps. The Lord about to close this casket. Well, really, America's already in this casket. Now the Lord is just saying the final words of fucking good riddance and fuck you, and until he closes the casket. Now we can bury this motherfucker for good. Alright? It says, trust in God rather than wealth, armies, or status. Stability in chaos is a form of light. Beautiful. By valuing life when life is cheap, when violence and death increase, God says a man becomes precious. A man of God shines by defending the vulnerable, which we're going to do. How we going to do that? By ways of spiritual powers. Valuing human dignity, choosing righteousness, even when it costs them safety. Because Lord willing, we're going to be doing this even to the death, because some of us might die. This aligns with Yahushua teaching that love in dark times is a witness. It says what? They shall know you who's my disciples, because you by the love you show one towards another. And I never really thought about that thing, and that's a whole nother video in itself. We already show each other love, and people can see that. If we go out in public, people look at us and they can tell something different about us. They drawn by us, and sometimes they come up and say something, or sometimes they just stare, or whatever. But how much more when all hell breaks loose? You're gonna have friends fighting one another. You're gonna have friends eating each other, bro. Sliming each other out, as they say, stabbing each other in the back. So when this happened to us, there's gonna be times where we ain't gonna have food too, because we're gonna get tested and tried just as well as everybody. It's gonna happen to the whole world, man. So what are we gonna do? We ain't gonna eat each other. We're gonna be faithful, because we understand, like, well, okay, I'm starving right now, but the Lord gonna feed us. So let's everybody calm down and just wait. But these people in the world, they don't have that faith. They don't have that patience. So they gonna be like, shit, what I'm gonna eat? I don't see nothing else but you, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because first it's gonna be, wild animals out here, and then it's gonna be the family pet. Bob, some Edomite gonna name a fucking a golden retriever Bob or something, Steve or something. Oh, he's old. He's 9, 12, 13 years old. He's old. We doing him a favor. He's getting skinny. You might as well eat him while you still got some meat on him. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, what's gonna be next? If there's nothing else, then they're gonna be robbing from other people. They're gonna probably eat other people. You know. And then sometimes it's gonna be like, well, fuck it, man. Shit, I ain't seen another person in a few days, or it's too hard. I don't got no more bullets. I can't. You know what I mean? I ain't about to keep risking my life and because you know what I mean. Shit, I'd rather just do you while you sleep. You know what I mean? That's easy, quick and easy. All right. It says, but us, we ain't gonna do that, bro. We're gonna be faithful to each other, man. All right. Brother might have one last fucking thing. He might have one little granola bar left, and then he gonna be like, damn, brother, you know, I'm hungry as fuck, but hey, we can split this, man. Or if it's one piece left, hey, you can have it, brother. And I'll be alright, bro. The Lord gonna provide. You know what I mean? You know? Fuck you looking at. It says, being refined through fire in time. Imagine, often includes refining. Malachi 2:3. Gold shines after refinement. Ooh. A man of gold shines because trials remove hypocrisy. Suffering purifies motives. Faith becomes visible under pressure. Right, that's beautiful. Your faith becomes visible under pressure. All right, now, one more. Four and one. All right. It says, understand the context. Describe judgment for Judah, pride, moral decay, societies in chaos. Men are few or disqualified, leaving women desperate for protection and social status. Ooh. And yeah, man, it's not gonna be like the movies, man. Yeah, see, I told you I'm gonna get on you women, hey, because it's not like the movies where with that Hunger Games and shit, bitch with a bow and arrow. The majority of men don't even know how to use bow and arrows. Stop it. Alright? You know what I'm saying? Even if you did. Well, that would be the best option for women. Because even in war times, like, there's been women snipers that killed hundreds of people. But that's like your best bet, bro. Like, shoot a nigga from afar. That's your best bet. But that's probably about a few. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, you getting fucked up, man. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? In Venezuela, when they was going through their little crisis and shit, guess what the women did, especially of high status, like nurses and teachers and shit like that. Guess what they did when their economy collapsed? They became streetwalkers, man. You seen Miss Berry in the classroom. Now you see her on the corner. You know what I'm saying? Selling ass. All right, that's exactly what's gonna happen. You know. To take hold of one man reflects the scarcity of godly men in a corrupt society. In other words, a man of God is so rare that multiple women clutch at him. Symbolically, his righteousness and moral integrity are prized because most men have fallen into sin or neglect of the Most High, right? See, even chat knows, man. But you still got some Israelite camps that think Isaiah 4:1 is talking about the kingdom. What the fuck? No, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Alright. These women gonna cut, they gonna, man. And I seen a glimpse of it, man. You know, I remember I was at the camp, we was leaving, we was about a car chilling, and a brother tried to hook me up with one girl that was walking past, and I was like, oh, fuck it, all right, con. And me and her, I walked up to her, started talking to her, like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, oh, yeah, you got a man? She's like, oh, I'm still talking to my baby daddy. I'm still messing with him. I was like, ooh, hey, sorry, I can't do that. And then she's just like, well, hold on. I ain't talked to him. And she changed it completely. I'm like, oh, nah, I'm sorry. Because I didn't want to tell her. I didn't want to get into details. I can't do that. I don't do that. You know what I mean? And she just kept going. I'm like, God damn. I'm like trying to walk back. And then I got ignored. Like, look, man, that shit going off. Like, that's adultery. You got a man. You know what I mean? And I'm like trying to walk back to the car. She following me and shit. I'm like, God damn. And why I'm thinking in my head, like, okay, she probably just doing that because she just want, somebody to take care of her kids or some shit. But I ain't never seen a woman like that before. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say like that, but she was desperate, bro. I'm like, God damn. And she was on my shit, bro. She was following me to the car. Brother is my witness, if they can remember. And I'm at the car with the brothers, and she's still going, like, she's still trying to, like, I'm trying to tell this lady, like, Miss Lady, like, goddamn, like, no, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? That's all I gotta say to you, like, goodness. So, and I'm thinking of Isaiah 4:1. So imagine when this shit hit the fan, bro. These women gonna go crazy. They gonna fucking beg us, bro. They gonna literally cleave onto us, man. They gonna grabbing onto our leg. We gonna have to literally push a bitch off, man. Get the fuck off me, man. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna have to pick through of the litter, man. We gonna pick and choose who we want, and we gonna be hiding in the spirit, bro. The Lord gonna be with us even more. So our spiritual awareness is gonna be on point, man. So we gonna be like, of course we're gonna have beautiful women, but it's not gonna be just because of that. We gonna be judging through the spirit. Fuck her. She bad, but fuck that bitch. Be gone. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be rejecting a lot of women. And some women are icon, I want this one right here. You know what I'm saying? It says, 2 says how a man shines here by moral purity, godly character. It says he stands out in the society where most men are corrupt, oppressive, or irresponsible. Hold on. Appreciate it. Goddamn traffic is crazy right now. It says his righteousness make him noticeable and precious even amidst society chaos. All right, by being a source of protection and blessing, women want to be called by his name, meaning they desire connection to God's covenant through him. All right, and how do you be called by a man's name? Is what you do. You got to be married. When you get married, what you do, you take on the man's last name. All right, what the scripture says, she shall be saved in childbearing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these women, they're gonna be saved off the reason just because, hey, we need to replenish in the kingdom, so I need a wife, so you're gonna be mine. That's what you're good for anyway. You're good for having babies and sex and being a servant. So do what you're supposed to be doing. If not, then that's cool. You can go ahead and survive by your damn self. Let's see how long that lasts. It says this indicates that a man of God is a vessel of God's honor, guidance, and provision in a broken world. By reflecting God's covenant, the verse ties righteousness to a removal of reproach. Right? Oh, I ain't gonna get into that. So, a man of God shines because he embodies God's standards and therefore restores honor in a dishonored culture. Right? Because that's what it is, bro. We can't go to the Most High unless we go through Yahweh Shai. That's that. And you women cannot go to the Most High unless you go through your husband, if he's a man of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. Alright? By surviving judgment and remaining faithful, this is immediately after introduces the branch of Yahweh, a Messianic figure whose glory appears and beautifies those who remain faithful. So a man of God shines in connection with God's glory, not just personal virtue. Right. So, ooh, that's beautiful. I love that right there. So a man of God shines in connection with God's glory, not just personal virtue. I love the way that's written right there. Because we're glorious. We're honorable, but it's not through us. Because our own life is ass. We're sinners. How are we glorious and shine? It's through the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Then the Lord cleans us up personally. Alright, it says, in the end times or a spiritual dark period, a man of God shines not by worldly power, wealth, or prosperity, but because he is rarely righteous in a corrupt world. His life reflects God's covenant and honor. All others recognize him as a beacon of moral and spiritual integrity. He becomes a channel of God's glory and restoration. Alright. Isaiah 41 shows that in a morally broken time, a godly man stands out like a jewel, not by admonition, but by obedience, faithfulness, and by godly character. Alright. So yeah, man. I'm gonna see what this is talking about, and then if not, then I'm just gonna that's pretty much it. So yeah, man, Lord willing, hopefully that was edifying, in that day, man. Let's be prepared, because a lot of people are gonna ask questions, a lot of people gonna ask, the answer. I'm thinking in the book of Acts, like certain times where there's miracles that happen, and it said that people feared the Lord, and 3,000 was added to the faith. So it might be some times like that. It might be a huge, population of brothers and a few sisters that's going to enter one day on a sudden, sincere brothers. So we're going to have to get ready to, give answer and make sure we on point, and of course those 7 women, when those 7 women come, it ain't going to be a time for you just on your ass getting massaged by 7 women all day. We still gonna be in the spirit. We still gonna be locked in. Make sure we on point with the scriptures and all these different things. And yeah, man, just get ready for the return of our Lord. All right. So, Lord willing, hopefully that was edifying. We give our praises and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahshai, Bashim Kakadash, the bounce to the Apostle JMS Ruel, and shalom to the faithful men. Always continue doing the work of the Lord. It's time to say shalom.